Welcome to the Hobby School podcast. Whether you're a seasoned hobbyist or just getting started, Hobby School is the perfect place to learn something new. My name is Dr. Destiny Kopp, and I'm your host of the podcast. But before we jump into our episode for today, the only thing I ask is that if you enjoyed the episode, please share with a friend and give us an honest review on your favorite podcast platform. This helps us get out the content to more people. I also want to invite you to get on our wait list for our next Hobby School Online Learning Summit. These are free to attend, and you can find the link to join at hobbyschool.com, which is also in our podcast show notes. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. And my special guest today is Melissa Seidman. Melissa is a former teacher and the CEO of Not Another VA. At Not Another VA, they are passionate about email marketing. They write and automate nurturing emails for small businesses that help you build relationships and increase revenue while working less. Now, Melissa, we're going to be talking about one of my most favorite topics, which is email marketing. And I have built several different online brands in businesses almost solely through email. So I am super passionate about it. But before we get into all the questions I have for you, can you tell the good audience just a little bit more about you and how you help people?
Yeah, so we help clients take their existing businesses and automate the process for emails to generate leads and generate sales. If you're interested in using email marketing for your business, we would love to help you build your email marketing to sell your brand and your business.
So, Melissa, let's just have a chat for somebody who is, obviously, we're all familiar with emails, right? We know what emails are and how we use them to communicate with people. But some folks listening might not realize exactly how it's used in a business. So, well, first of all, let's talk about why email versus other ways you could build businesses like social media, because I know a lot of new business owners, when they're first just starting out, they think, oh, I'm going to grow my business on social media. I actually took a very different approach, and I think it has served me well over the years. And I made the decision to grow my business through email marketing. So from your perspective, and I know you worked with a lot of clients, so you've seen, a lot of different types of businesses. Can you walk us through why email versus some of the other ways people can grow businesses?
So when you grow your business, email marketing is the number one way that you can get directly in front of someone's emails. And people often, the first thing they check in the morning is their email. I actually built 2 businesses with email marketing also before I even threw in social media in the mix. And often people do the opposite. And then you realize I started email too late. And I almost wish I started email sooner. It's one of those things that you don't think about starting until you realize that I need to be sending direct marketing to my customers. And the only way you're going to reach them is directly into their inbox, because if you're using Facebook or Instagram or any kind of social media, you're subject to an algorithm and you don't own your list. Someone could hack your social media anytime. Whereas email, you own your list. You can download it every month to make sure it's backed up. You can switch providers. You own your list. And I think that's what makes a big difference. And you can decide when you throw a sale. You can decide when you teach them about your product line or your service. You can decide when you send emails.
I think that's a good point. And just kind of comparing email to social media, a couple of things that I have heard. I've heard a lot of horror stories about social media all over the years. Some people grow these Instagram accounts to a few 100,000 followers, and then their account gets shut down and they can't figure out why, and they can't get anybody from that organization to contact them. So that's an issue. And only a very, very small percentage of their followers see that particular post. So it's almost like they're posting to no one, honestly, unless they're doing some paid advertising there. Email, on the other hand, as you mentioned, you own that, right? You own that email list. You can send out an email anytime that you want to. So I think you had some really, really good points there. Now, I'd like to kind of switch gears a little bit. And for people who are like, Destiny and Melissa, you've sold me. I am ready to learn a little bit more about this. But walk us through how a new business owner would get started in email marketing and, basically starting that email list.
Yeah, you need to not. Often I see clients come to me. I have a whole list of emails in an Excel spreadsheet, and I realize that's actually wrong. You can't be doing that anymore. You can't be emailing them from a free Gmail account or a free Yahoo account. You need to go with an email provider such as Flowdesk, ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, MailerLite. There's a bunch of programs you could go with, Constant Contact. Go with an email provider, and you need to have a paid email address. So that's a new change that happened last year. You need to have a paid email address. You can't be using a free Gmail or free Yahoo email to send emails. And then you start building your list. You essentially create an opt-in that someone wants for your list. So for example, if I sell jewelry, maybe I'm going to give them 10% off their first jewelry purchase. Or if I have a skincare line, maybe I'll send them a free bar of soap. You offer some kind of incentive that they want to join, whether it's tips or valuable information about your product or service. And then they give you their email, they give you their name, and then they get the freebie right away. And then they're now on your list that you can market to them in the future.
So you mentioned a paid email address. Can you explain to folks exactly what that means versus like a free Gmail account?
I still have clients that still use their free Gmail account. And I'm like, it doesn't look like a legit business. You want to make sure you're paid email. So you go through either Google or GoDaddy or something and get a paid email. So for example, I used to be not another virtual assistant at gmail.com. And then as soon as I realized I want to be more of a business and I am a business, I need to send emails for a paid email. So now I'm Melissa at nonanotherva.com. So I own the domain, the email address at the end of the address that is connected to my website, that's connected to my email list.
You can go and get that set up through like a Google Workspace account. So you first purchase your domain, and then you can go in and set up, through Google or wherever you have purchased your domain, you can get that real business email account. So you will need that before you go in and set up basically set up your email service provider account, whether you're using like MailChimp or ConvertKit or one of those. All right. So let's assume we have all that set up. We have our business domain. We have our real business email account. We've selected our email service provider, and we have basically gone through the process to get out that free gift, whether it's like 10% off of your first order or some type of lead magnet PDF type download. What are some of the next steps you would recommend?
The most important thing I recommend doing is sending consistent emails. So even if when I had 5 people on the list, I still made sure I emailed those 5 because they don't know if they're 5 people or 500,000 people on your list. So the most important thing you can do is send email, teach them about the product or service you offer, give them value. So you can say, here's a sale only for my email list and promote them, or give them insider tips about how the product or service is created. You can do anything like that. Take them behind the scenes. You could link your social media. Come watch a reel that I made about this product, how I made this product. You can link all kinds of different things, but send consistent emails really makes a difference and will lead to more sales and more nurtured relationships over time.
People love seeing behind the scenes of businesses, and emails like that are definitely very engaging to them. Now, the next question I think folks may be asking is, all of that sounds great. I can, set this up. I can send out my weekly consistent emails, but how do I get people on my email list? Where do I find these people?
So you got to look where those people are. Let's say you're in a jewelry niche. Let's say there's jewelry Facebook groups that you can join and promote. Maybe you make a blog post about making certain types of jewelry, and then you have an email opt-in on that. You can create pins to the blog post, to the email list. Also, you can go on social media and talk about your email opt-in or your lead magnet that you're promoting, whether it's the coupon discount or a PDF download, and then get them to join the list that quick email link, or DM me the word email list and I'll send you my link. There's a lot of ways to do it, and it does take time. People often who are just starting out get really frustrated. And they're like, my email list is not growing. It just takes time. And I often say it's not about the number of subscribers you have, but it's about the relationships and the right subscriber you have. So Amy Porterfield talked about this customer avatar. You want to have the ideal customer avatar in mind when you're advertising your email list.
I love that. So go to where they are. I like the suggestion you gave regarding like pinning. So you're talking about Pinterest. Now, Pinterest, for those of you who may be a little bit new, is a little bit like social media, but it's really more like SEO. So you might be pinning to blog posts that you have on your website. And then on your website, that's when you can drive them to your email list. And like Melissa said, it definitely does take time. But if you're, consistent with it, your email list will grow. Now, Melissa, you work with a lot of different businesses and a lot of different types of niches. Can you walk us through some of the biggest mistakes you see business owners making with their email?
Yeah. So the number one thing I see often is people don't test their emails on mobile because most users are actually reading their emails on their phones. So you want to make sure it renders properly on mobile than it does on the desktop also. So often when I send the email for a client, I'll look at it on my phone and I'll also look at it on the desktop to make sure it looks properly because sometimes it doesn't always render. The colors don't always look right. You want to make sure it's very on brand. So if your logos are particular colors, make sure your links are that color. Make sure the colors matter and the aesthetics matter. You don't want to have too many links and too many colors, but there's a fine line between too many and not enough.
Well, Melissa, before we hang it up here, any last minute tips for the audience on email marketing?
I think over time, it does take time. People often get frustrated. I often say email marketing is a long-term game. You play it and build rapport with your customers and your business over time. It will pay off. Email marketing has done wonders for myself and for my clients, and it really will work. It does work for your business, but you got to stick with it, power through the hard times, and it will pay off.
Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you let folks know where they can find you and also tell them a little bit more about your free gift?
Yeah, so you can find me at notanotherva.com. So you can search me at notanotherva on Instagram, notanotherva on Facebook, notanotherva. I'm all over the internet if you search notanotherva. You can find me on my Pinterest page. And my free offer is for email done for you for Email Club. Email Cloud is a service we offer for people who want to DIY their email list. And if they want email templates done each month for you, you can take the templates and modify it for your own business and build your own business and brand and voice into the templates. But we save you time. We give you ideas of this will be a sales email, this will be a nurture email, that type of thing.
Perfect. And I know that that is especially important for new business owners who are like, Melissa, what do I write each week? You told me to send out the weekly consistent emails, but I don't know what to say. So that is the perfect solution for them. So Melissa, thank you so much for joining us. I will make sure all of those links are in the show notes, guys, so you can go down there, find Melissa, and connect with her. Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
Thank you so much for listening today. Don't forget to sign up for the waitlist so you'll be the first to know when our next free Hobby School online learning summit launches. The link is in the show notes for this episode, or you can go to hobbyschool.com, and that's Hobby School with school without an H in it. Talk soon.